Hello and welcome to episode number 12 of the TEW 2020 Challenge Run. This is the first episode of Friday Night SmackDown in the month of May, and it is the first on SmackDown's build to the joint branded Money in the Bank pay-per-view at the end of the month. We saw, of course, the first half of the matches confirmed on Monday Night Raw last night. Well, Monday night, but probably last night when you're watching this. And we'll see SmackDown's half in today's episode. So without any further ado, let's just jump straight into the show. We open the show with Bill Goldberg, of all people. He's coming out, he gets his pyro, his music's going off, and he's coming to the ring with a purpose. Because he couldn't let there be a winner last night or Sunday night, between Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman. Because he hates seeing Braun Strowman parade around as the Universal Champion, and he hates seeing Roman Reigns parade himself around as the number one contender. Because Goldberg, he had the beating of Roman Reigns. Goldberg was going into WrestleMania, he had a game plan. He had Roman Reigns beat. He'd scouted Roman Reigns, he knew how to counter the Superman punch and the spear, and he had the jackhammer with Roman's name on it. When all of a sudden, miraculously, before the show happens, Roman decides to pull out, and he's replaced with Braun Strowman. Now, no one's really ever had time to prepare for Braun Strowman, a man of his size. How would you like it if someone dumped the fact that you're going to be wrestling a 7-foot, 400-pound beast, a monster among men, on your shoulders? So, he, of course, knew how to beat Goldberg, but Goldberg had never had time to prepare for Braun Strowman. And now Roman Reigns is back, and he's jumped the queue before Goldberg got a chance to get his rematch, when Roman Reigns was too chicken to face Goldberg at WrestleMania. They ain't gonna fly. So, at Money in the Bank, Goldberg, who wants to wrestle Braun Strowman, and he wants to wrestle Roman Reigns in a triple threat match for the Universal title. I know, the finish to the title match at Payback was a bit naff, but the one thing I hate more than, naff finishes the title match on pay-per-view is having loose ends in my wrestling. And Goldberg vanishing, not ever facing Roman, and just leaving after dropping his title, that's a major loose end I really want to tie up. So I've got to bring Goldberg in back to sort of get this out of the way. And at Money in the Bank, he's challenged both Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns to a triple threat match for the Universal title. The first women's Money in the Bank qualifying match. Dakota Kai defeats Lacey Evans in 6 minutes with a top rope splash. Don't know why she's using that, but that's what she uses. Lacey Evans hits a 36, Dakota a 44, so actually the match scored better than the two average performances. And Dakota, after being around for a month, is the first confirmed name on the SmackDown women's side for the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Sami Zayn is backstage. He's cutting a promo about how he defeated a legend in Jeff Hardy at Payback. So he defeated Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania, Daniel Bryan again on SmackDown, and then Jeff Hardy on Payback. His Intercontinental title reign is off to a flying start, and nobody ever gave him a chance. And that's when Cesaro and Shinsuke walk into frame to meet up with their old friend, and Shinsuke congratulates him, and Cesaro congratulates him. But Cesaro's eyes and Shinsuke's eyes, you can tell they both kind of want that a shot at the IC title because he's their friend. And hey Sammy, didn't you promise us a shot of the title? And Sammy's like, well, that's by the by because tonight I've got a Money in the Bank qualifier. I've got a rematch against Jeff Hardy in the main event for a Money in the Bank spot. And I trust that you two are going to help me get in there. And then once I win Money in the Bank and win the WWE title, then one of you two can get a shot at my IC title when I have all the belts. And they're like, okay, yeah, Sammy will help you win. And they all walk off together. So this group temporarily realigned tonight after Nakamura and Cesaro beat Bryan and Gulak at Payback. Another Payback rematch is Sheamus and not Jeff Hardy, I'm thinking of real life. Sheamus and Elias. For the Money in the Bank spot, Sheamus defeats Elias with a bro kick in 11:35. He beat Elias on the kickoff show for Payback, and he's beaten Elias here tonight. And Sheamus is the first man from SmackDown to punch his ticket to Money in the Bank. He gets a 68, Elias gets a 63, match hit a 62. The Miz and Morrison are not happy. They lost their SmackDown Tag Team titles at Payback to the New Day. Miz took the fall in that match. Morrison's like, oh, Miz, it really sucks that we lost the SmackDown Tag Team titles. And Miz like, it's not my fault, okay, John? It's that stupid Rob Gronkowski and his friend Mojo Rawley. They really threw us off our game in that dance contest. And that's been playing on my mind ever since, because we are the greatest tag team of all time. We are the greatest dancers of all time. And Rob Gronkowski is some guy from the NFL. He's not a WWE superstar. And he's got no business here trying to cost us our SmackDown Tag Team titles. And I've let that play in my mind more than I'm willing to admit, John. So next time Rob Gronkowski dares show up, we're going to give him a little greeting. So Miz blaming his loss. It was a clean loss of the tag team titles. He's blaming that on Rob Gronkowski because he distracted him during the dance-off that made New Day the number one contenders. So, yeah, so Miz and Morrison not happy with the Gronk. Robert Roode is backstage. He cuts a promo. He's with Kayla, talking about how he defeated Shorty G at Payback. And tonight he has a rematch with Shorty G. And when he beats him again, because he's a chump and he's a short ass and he's not got any fighting spirit, he'll punch his ticket to Money in the Bank, and then Money in the Bank will be absolutely that he's cut off when Shorty G walks in a frame. He says, you're half right here, Bobby. Because you are correct. Last night, it's like last Sunday, you did defeat Shorty G. However, I heard you say that tonight you had a rematch with Shorty G. And that's not entirely true. Because you don't have a rematch with Shorty G tonight. You have a match with Chad Gable. And then he walks off, and Roode's like, oh god. And Chad Gable has his real name back. And he has a match with Robert Roode under the Chad Gable name for a Money in the Bank qualifying spot tonight. 22. Bit better than the Sugar Rush match on Raw, but again, it's between jobbers, so they don't care. Metalik and Dorado defeated the Forgotten Sons when Metalik pinned Steve Cutler. Just to get more tag teams shown off on the show. Again, like I said on Raw, I want to try and get everybody doing something. And these two have like gimmicks everybody got established. Well, the New House Party do, so it's not so much the Forgotten Sons, but they are going to be getting something, believe it or not, in the coming weeks. So they can afford to take the loss here, because the whole shtick will be that they've been losing. So I thought it was a nice chance to give Metalik and Dorado a nice win, because we love Luchador, our Lucha Boy Metalik, and we like Lindsay Dorado. We don't love him as much. JFLO concert, again, this isn't a concert, sorry, my bad. This is like a video package, like a character piece, where, as a lot of bands do, where they have a shot of like all the band members, they go through who they are and what they are in the band. So you've got Mackie, she's the lead singer, she's the cute one, Mina is the cool one, etc, etc. So we just break down what they all are, who they are, and why they've come to SmackDown Live. They've come for two reasons. Because they want to spread their love of J-pop all over the world, and they also want to take over the SmackDown Women's division. So they don't perform here this week. We just get a nice biography on who the band members are. Maki Ito, just her name in here, is the lead leader, technically. Mina is Marina Shiragawa. Marika Kabashi is Marika. Mizuki is Mizuki. And Tam is Tam Nakano. So that's who they all are. They go over their backgrounds and just, they're here. JFLO. Sasha and Bayley are in Gorilla because Sasha has a rematch with Carmella tonight, and it is a Money in the Bank qualifier. And Bayley's like, yeah, you go, sis. You're going to beat that son of a bitch, Carmella, and go to Money in the Bank and win Money in the Bank and cash it on the Raw Women's title, and we'll hold both belts. And then Sasha goes out to the ring with her entrance music playing. Bayley stays behind. The camera stays on Bayley, and then Paige comes up to Bayley. And she's like, I don't know why you're so excited about Sasha potentially winning Money in the Bank, because it's not going to be a night off for you either. Because next week it's going to be a fatal four-way. It'll be Alexa Bliss, Nikki Cross, Naomi, and the loser of tonight's match between Sasha and Carmella in a fatal four-way next week. And the winner will go off to face you at Money in the Bank. have a nice night. And then she taps Bayley on the shoulder, and Bayley's looking proper pissed off because Paige has ruined her night yet again. The match, though, gets 59. Sasha Banks defeats Carmella with the bank statement. Sasha 60, Carmella 64, and Sasha Banks joins Dakota Kai, Ruby Riott, Liv Morgan, and Bianca Belair in the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. So it will also be Carmella, Alexa, Nikki, and Naomi next week. Ali is in his little hacker room, and he's explaining why he did what he did and why he decided to do the hacker and why he is defending Otis. He says that he's had to sit back and watch people like Dolph Ziggler take opportunities from guys like Otis all his career, for the last months, and he's tired of seeing Dolph Ziggler get everything. Dolph Ziggler is past his expiration date here on SmackDown Live, and Otis is the nice guy. Otis is just, the fans love him, so Otis deserved that happy ending at WrestleMania, not Dolph Ziggler. And if no one else was going to see it, he was going to have to try and find a way to bring it to the light. So he decided he was going to hack into SmackDown Live cameras and bring to light everything going on with Mandy and Sonya and Dolph Ziggler, because he knows Otis deserves his happy ending, and he is going to try and stop any injustices here on SmackDown Live for the greater good, because he will bring the light to SmackDown Live. Speaking of Sonya and Mandy, they have a match for a women's Money in the Bank qualifier, and it's Sonya Deville who beats Mandy Rose. So Sonya Deville rounds out the lineup. It's Sonya, Dakota, Sasha, Ruby, Liv, and Bianca Belair. And that is your Money in the Bank for the women's side. Paige is returned to her office when she's interrupted by Oney Lorcan. He has the 24/7 title over his shoulder. And he's like, "Hey Paige, I'm a champion. You give me a contract for I'm up." And Paige's like, okay, I see you are the 24/7 champion, and we do love having champions here on SmackDown Live. When all of a sudden Bo Dallas sneaks up from behind with a referee and rolls up Oney, but it's only a 2 count, and Oney kicks out. And then him and Bo get into a scrap. And Paige has to break it up, because Bo Dallas is fighting for his SmackDown Live too. And Oney, he wants a SmackDown contract because he's the champion. So next week, Paige says, if you want a contract here on SmackDown Oney, you will defend your 24/7 championship in a sanctioned matchup against Bo Dallas. That's if you can hold on to the title that long. And then Oney's like, okay, I just won't go to Raw, throw him up. I will be the champion next week, and I'll beat Bo, and I'll get a SmackDown contract because I'm hard. So yes, 24/7 title sanctioned matchup next week. Oney Lorcan and Bo Dallas. Chad Gable, under that name, defeats Robert Roode in 12:22 with submission. Gable gets a 50, Robert Roode gets a 62, match gets a 62. So Gable also joins Money in the Bank. He joins Sheamus on the SmackDown side, and Aleister Black, Apollo Crews, and Austin Theory on the Raw side. For the first time since WrestleMania, the Firefly Fun House is back. Bray Wyatt is talking about what he did to John Cena at WrestleMania, and how he's having a nice time playing with his Fireflies in the Fun House. But you never know where he could be. He has seen some things he doesn't quite like, and when he feels time, he'll right those wrongs, let me in, etc. Bye. And he waves goodbye to the camera, and we go on to our main event of the evening. Gets a 61. Jeff Hardy defeats Sami Zayn with a twist of hate, and the game completely ignores my road agent notes. So, because the game sucks and didn't put in what I wanted it to, this is what happens. Cesaro and Shinsuke are out there at ringside, and a botched interference by Cesaro causes Jeff Hardy to beat Sami Zayn, and it does look accidental. Shinsuke is like, what the fuck are you doing, man? So I was like, I didn't mean to. I'm sorry, I accidentally hit Sami. Obviously, we love Sami. And Jeff Hardy is the one who capitalizes on that, and he goes to Money in the Bank with Chad Gable, Sheamus, Austin Theory, Apollo Crews, and Aleister Black to end SmackDown, which gets us a 66. That fucking annoys me because that match would have got more than a 61 if it would have remembered that I had the IC title story involved. But because it took Cesaro out of the finish for whatever the fuck reason, it then decided that the story didn't advance, so it got a shit rating, which pisses me off. But oh well. 66. Lose popularity again. This game is fucking garbage. But no, I don't really care. What matters most is what you thought of the show, of course, and obviously do leave your thoughts in the comments below. And I'll see you next time for episode 13, where it will be the second episode of Raw of May, as we continue the build to the joint branded Money in the Bank pay-per-view. See you then.